Hello again. Today we are going to be reading on from chapter 5 to 8 of Fresh Meat. Hope you enjoyed. So, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think so far. I am the author of this book, Fresh Meat. So, yeah, without further ado, let's go. Chapter 5. And the police have no idea who it was? Misty asked at lunch on Monday. No idea, Serafina replied. Wow, that's scary, Misty said. Yeah, it was. What's going on now? Dawn asked, sitting down at their table. Serafina's had a very interesting weekend, Misty replied. Yeah, but it's not something to discuss while we're eating. It'll make you want to puke, Serafina said. Anyway, did your grandma pack you anything good for lunch today? Misty asked, changing the subject. Hamburger, Serafina said. As she bit into the burger, she made a disgusted face and started to violently gag. Oh my God, she spat. What's the matter? Misty cried. This is the worst thing I've ever tasted, Serafina said, fumbling for a water bottle. She quickly tried to wash the taste out of her mouth. But ended up choking on her drink. She made the most disgusted face, and what she spit out made Dawn and Misty scream. Instead of clear water, a solid red substance dribbled down her chin. Shit, is that blood? Dawn replied in horror. Serafina nodded vigorously. Large tears began to swell in her eyes. Oh my God, Serafina, look, it's an eye, Misty cried, showing Serafina what she had bit into. Serafina screamed so loud that everyone in the noisy lunchroom turned to stare at her. Tears ran rapidly down her face as she ran as fast as she could out of the room. Lilith had been called to come pick her up. She's very traumatized. I wouldn't recommend she come back to school for a few days, the principal suggested. The principal was a short, plump, friendly woman who never raised her voice to anyone. Mrs. Mayweather, do you have any idea how that got in her lunch? She asked. No, I really have no idea. I made her lunch myself, so I have absolutely no clue how this could have happened, Lilith replied. Okay, we'll just take her home and let her get some rest, the principal replied. Serafina stared blankly out the car window the entire ride home. Why is somebody doing this to us? She asked. Oh, baby, I don't know. I wish it would just stop as much as you do, Lilith replied. Serafina spent the entire evening locked in a room. Around 8 that night, Misty called to check in on her. I'm okay, really. I'll be at school tomorrow. There's no reason for me to hang around here all day, Serafina said. Are you sure? Misty asked. Totally. I'm not going to feel any better staring at a wall all day. I have to get out and get my mind off of things, Serafina said. Well, in that case, what do you say we all go to the mall Friday after school? Misty asked. Sounds great. We really need to get out and enjoy life, Serafina said. Cool. We'll discuss it more tomorrow. I gotta go. Mom's wanting me to help her with the laundry, Misty said. Have fun, Serafina laughed. That Friday, after school, Seraphine and Savannah met Misty and Dawn in the Belks parking lot. Hey, you made it, and I see you brought your sister, Dawn said. Yeah, Grandma said if I came, then Savannah had to come too, Seraphina replied. That's right, she doesn't get to do anything fun without me, Savannah laughed. Well, that's great you came along, Savannah, Misty said. Come on, I can't wait to see the new Brahmin posters, Dawn said enthusiastically. Hey, Seraphina, Can I go look at the shoes since they're just right over there? Savannah asked. Yeah, but I want you to stay where I can see you, Seraphina replied. What do you think about this one? Dawn asked, holding up a large turquoise alligator skin purse. Yeah, it's pretty, Seraphina said. Wow, $400? I don't think so, Seraphina said, looking at the price sticker. I think I'll get it anyway, Dawn replied. Good God, you can't be serious, Dawn, Misty replied. You're really going to spend that much money on a purse? Of course I am. My parents are rich after all, and they give me $1,000 a month allowance, so why not? Dawn replied. Yeah, that must be nice to get whatever you want, Misty said. Money is the ultimate source of happiness, Misty, Dawn replied. You know, Dawn, money will buy you any material thing you want, but I hope you know that money cannot buy you happiness. You may have everything in the entire world, but eventually you will long and search for something that not even money can bring you, Seraphina said. Just look around you. Innocent people die every day because of the greed of money. There are a lot of people that would cut your throat for $1, but when it's all said and done, there's always something missing in those people's lives. They may think that money will cure all their problems, but in the end, the money is what totally destroys them, she said. Dawn raised her eyebrows in surprise. Well, that was, interesting, Seraphina. Who taught you that phrase? She asked. No one. But when you grow up with tragedies like mine, you stop and think about a lot of things, Seraphina said. I would give up all the money I could ever earn and starve to death if I could talk to my mom one last time, just to tell her how much I love her and miss her, Seraphina said, as tears began to form in the corners of her eyes. She quickly wiped them away with her hand. I'm sorry, Seraphina, Dawn said. No, it's fine. I just want you to know that even though money is very important, don't forget the things that matter the most. Anyway, we better go see what kind of trouble Savannah's gotten into, she said, trying to fight back tears. Seraphina, over here. I want you to see these shoes, Savannah called and motioned to her. Wow, those are pretty, Seraphina said. Yeah, they even light up, Savannah replied. How much? Seraphina asked. $40, Savannah said. Okay, if you want 'em, I'll buy 'em for you, Seraphina said. Next, they stopped at the Disney store, so Savannah was overjoyed at all the princess dolls. I just love this store, she cried. She really is a lucky girl. Doesn't have a care in the world, living in her own world of fun and excitement, Seraphina thought as she watched Savannah, who was overcome with excitement. I wish for once I could be as happy as Savannah. No matter what, she always has a smile on her face. And me? I'm just a shadow of doubt haunted forever by bad memories, unable to experience the amazing feeling of being alive and happy and enjoying life, she thought. Can I get this? Savannah asked, taking Seraphina away from her thoughts. What is it? Seraphina asked. It's a Disney Castle playset. It has all the Disney princesses, and they all stand 11 inches tall, Savannah said. Okay, Seraphina replied. Cool. Thanks, big sis, Savannah said, hugging her. Wouldn't that be nice if every time you asked for something, someone gave you whatever you wanted, Seraphina thought. I can't believe you spent $100 on a toy castle, Misty said. It made her happy, Seraphina replied. Yeah, but you always get her everything she wants, Misty replied. Well, she is my little sister, and I love her, and I want her to be happy, Seraphina said. I try to be the best sister I can. You don't have to convince me. You're a great sister, Misty said. Next, they stopped at Claire's. They have some of the cutest earrings, Seraphina said. I know it's a store for little girls, but Seraphina stopped short and stared out the windows of the store as a strange look came across her. "What's wrong?" Misty asked as Seraphina continued to stare blankly as if in a trance. "That man," Seraphina said, pointing to a guy standing outside the store, staring at her through the windows. "Yeah, what about him?" Misty asked. "Something's not right," Seraphina replied. "What are you talking about?" Misty asked. "I don't know, Misty, but there's something not right about that guy. He's probably just looking for a present for his daughter or something. It's really no big deal," Misty assured her. "No, it's not that. It's just, well, have you ever passed by somebody somewhere and you get that strange feeling that you've seen them before?" Seraphina asked. "Actually, yeah. Look, Seraphina, you're losing it. He isn't doing anything wrong," Misty replied. "He's just standing there. If he's looking for something for someone, why wouldn't he come in?" Seraphina asked. The man suddenly gave Seraphina an evil smile before turning and walking away. "See, I told you he was just looking," Misty said. "Yeah, I guess you're right," Seraphina replied, still feeling uneasy. "What's that?" Dawn asked, walking up to them. Seraphina saw a guy standing outside the store looking in the window, and she thinks he was stalking her, Misty joked. "I did not," Seraphina snapped back. "Good Lord, Seraphina, ever since you saw that guy hanging around your house, you've become completely paranoid," Dawn said. And I'm telling you, Dawn and Misty thought I was a nutcase. But there was something really strange about that guy," Seraphina said as she told her grandparents that night. "I'm sure it was nothing, dear. Probably just someone looking for something for their daughter or something," Lilith replied. "That's exactly what Misty said, but I believe he was watching us," Seraphina replied. "Now, dear, why would he want to do that?" Lilith asked. "I don't know, but that's the way he made me feel," Seraphina said. "Dear, I think you're just afraid because of what happened the other night. But you're safe with us and your friends, so there's nothing to worry about." "But you are smart to be cautious," Lilith said. "Thanks, Grandma," Seraphina said, feeling a little relieved. "Just remember that we love you and would never let anything happen to you. Now go on to bed," Lilith said, giving her a kiss on the cheek. Chapter 6. So as you guys know, I've kind of changed from the following along with each page to just the cover of the book. Makes it a little easier for me without trying to keep up with each page. So from now on, I'm just gonna keep the camera based on the cover, and you guys can listen along. So thanks again. Chapter 6. One Friday night, as the Mayweather family watched the Friday night news, a report came on that Justin Bieber was coming to town to put on a concert. "Oh my God, that would be a perfect experience for Savannah and me. Can I order tickets?" Seraphina asked eagerly. "I don't know, dear. You just spent quite a bit of money on your sister at the mall," Lou replied. "Come on, Grandpa. How often does an experience like this come around? Besides, I don't ever get to do anything with just her," Seraphina said. "Come on, please," Seraphina begged. "No way," Misty and Dawn replied when Seraphina told them the news the following Monday at school. "Yeah, this will be our first concert, and I want it to be memorable." These are memories that will last a lifetime, Seraphina replied. So when is it? Dawn asked. In 2 months, Seraphina said. I had to beg my grandparents to let me order tickets. For some reason, they seem to think that I'm spending way too much money on Savannah. I wonder why, Seraphina asked with a laugh. Seriously, Seraphina, how much more are you going to do for her? Dawn asked. I don't know, Seraphina replied. For once, I agree with Dawn, Misty said. The more you keep giving Savannah, the more she's going to expect it. It's okay to do stuff for her, but you go completely overboard, Misty said. I know, but she's my little sister and I love her, Seraphina replied. Besides, this is my treat too. You guys don't understand. You don't have any younger brothers or sisters. Big sisters are supposed to spoil their baby sisters. I know, Seraphina, but there has got to be a stopping point, Misty said. It doesn't matter. This is the last thing I'm going to be able to do for a while anyway, Seraphina said. Anyway, I was wondering if you two wanted to come over Friday night for a sleepover. Yeah, sounds good to me, Misty replied. Yeah, could be fun, Dawn said. Around 6 on Friday evening, Dawn and Misty showed up at Seraphina's house. They were immediately greeted by the sound of screaming and laughter. Hey guys, sorry, but Grandma and Grandpa let Savannah's friends come too, so just ignore all the screaming, Seraphina replied as Savannah and her friends came running past them. Excited bunch, aren't they? Misty asked. Yeah, come on, let's go on up to my room, Seraphina said. As they made their way upstairs, they found Savannah and her friends totally ransacking Seraphina's room. What are you doing up here, Savannah? Seraphina asked. We're looking for your CDs so we can play them on my boombox, Savannah said. Well, what's wrong with your CDs? Seraphina asked. Nothing, but yours are better, Savannah replied. You could have at least asked me, Seraphina said. She reached in her dresser and pulled out a large blue CD case. Here, just remember not to play them too loud or you'll make Grandma mad. You know her rules on loud music being played in the house. Oh, don't we all know her rules, Savannah replied glumly. So what's the big deal about your grandma? Dawn asked. She's the type that doesn't like loud things and horseplay in her house, Seraphina replied. Suddenly the phone rang. Seraphina heard Lilith answer it. A couple of minutes later, Lilith came up to Seraphina's room. Who is it? Who was it? Seraphina asked. I don't know. There's nobody on the line when I answered it, Lilith said. Ah, just a wrong number, Seraphina said. Anyway, I brought y'all some cupcakes and Kool-Aid, Lilith said with a smile. Your grandma's so sweet. I don't see how she could be as strict as you make her out to be, Dawn said, after Lilith left the room. You'd be surprised. She can be a real hothead when she wants to be, but most of the time she's pretty laid back, Seraphina said. Anyway, Seraphina, have your concert tickets come in yet, Misty asked. No, not yet, but they should be in a couple weeks. The concert's only a month away, Seraphina said. Suddenly the walls of the house began to shake. I told you not to play that music that loud, Lilith screamed. See, I told you. I bet she's about to give Savannah a butt chewing, Seraphina laughed. That night, around 1:30 in the morning, Seraphina decided to go get some popcorn and Coke for their late-night horror movies. As she reached the final step, the phone rang again. That's weird. Who would be calling it this late at night, Seraphina thought. Hello? Hello? Seraphina answered. All she could hear on the other end was static. Is anybody there? She asked. No reply. She hung up the phone and shook her head. How strange. That's twice tonight that someone's called and there's no one on the line, she thought. Suddenly she began to feel uneasy, as if she were being watched. She quickly fixed the popcorn and got the Cokes. and had just reached the stair landing when the phone rang for the third time. "Hello?" she answered nervously. There was nothing but static on the other end. "Listen, this is really starting to get..." Suddenly, a cold, raspy voice came over the line. "How'd that eyeball burger taste, beautiful?" the voice taunted. "What?" Seraphina asked in fear. "Don't worry, beautiful. It won't be long now," the voice replied with a cold laugh. Suddenly, the other end of the line went dead and was replaced by the dull dial tone. Seraphina ran up the stairs 2 at a time, her heart thudding like thunder in her chest. "What's going on?" Misty asked, noticing the look of horror on Seraphina's face. "Some creepy-ass guy just called and asked how I liked my eyeball burger," Seraphina said. "It was probably just a prank by one of those punk-ass jocks that was at lunch that day," Dawn said. "I don't think so. Sounded like a full-grown man," Seraphina said. "Nah, just forget about it," Misty replied. "Yeah, you're probably right. It was probably nothing," Seraphina said. Seraphina was awakened a couple of hours later by a loud slam of what seemed to be a car door. She stumbled across the dark room, careful not to fall across the air mattress that Dawn and Misty were sleeping on. She made her way to the window and pulled back the curtains. Suddenly she let out a high-pitched squeal. Her shrill scream awoke Dawn and Misty, who jumped up and screamed in fear as well. "What?" they screamed in unison. There in the window was the most horrible face Seraphina had ever seen. Whatever it was not human. It had piercing red eyes, large snout, and razor-sharp teeth. "It's a mask," Seraphina realized. A reddish-orange light began to grow bigger. "Fire!" Seraphina screamed, running out of the room, screaming for her grandpa. Lou immediately grabbed his .357 Magnum and ran out of the house, firing shots. "The car's on fire!" he screamed. Seraphina quickly ran out and grabbed the water hose. "Did you see that thing?" Seraphina asked. "Just the outline. They ran when I fired," Lou replied. "What's going on?" Savannah asked sleepily. "It's nothing, dear. Someone just thought it'd be funny to set the seats in our car on fire. But the police are on their way, and they'll catch who did this," Lilith replied, wrapping her with a blanket. The officer that arrived on the scene was a guy who looked to be about 40. He was tall and thin, with solid blonde hair and blue eyes. Seraphina recognized him instantly. "That's Misty's dad. He was here the last time. You know, when we called about the coyote incident," Seraphina said. "Oh, yeah, I think you're right, dear. What is his name again?" Lilith replied. "Officer Ronnie Griffin. I'm Misty's dad. It's good to see you guys again. And are you behaving yourself, Misty?" he asked. He spoke in a southern accent. "Yeah, I'm being good, Dad," Misty said. He shook Lou's and Lilith's hands. "So what's going on this evening?" he asked politely. Lou told him the whole story about the car and the person with the mask. "Well, it seems somebody's really trying to give you a hard time," Griffin replied as he made his way over to the Mayweather's Hyundai Sonata. "My God, this is really, interesting." The entire interior of the car had been destroyed. The steering wheel had been ripped off and laid on the back floorboard. The radio had been ripped out and was dangling from its wires. The brake and gas pedals were dismantled, and the seats had been set on fire. "Really sounds like a gang of hoodlums out looking to cause trouble and vandalize to me," Griffin replied. "But that gives them no right to come onto your property. I'll definitely put all this information in the report, and I'll make sure that we have units patrolling this neighborhood all night long," he said. "Don't worry. It may take a little while, but we'll get whoever's doing this," he reassured them. "In the meantime, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have some cameras installed around your house, he said. That's exactly what I was thinking about doing, Lou replied. If it was me, I certainly would, Griffin said. If I see anybody fooling around out here again, I'll shoot the bastard, Lou replied. I don't blame you, Griffin replied with a laugh. Anyway, if you need anything else, don't be afraid to call, he said, shaking Lou's hand one last time. All right, we really appreciate it, officer, Lou replied. So do you still think I'm a nutcase, Dawn? Seraphina asked as they made their way back up to her room. I did, until tonight, Dawn laughed. You must have really pissed somebody off. Well, one thing's for sure, Seraphina said. What's that? Misty asked. You can't say it tonight wasn't interesting, Seraphina replied. True, Misty said. It's quite useful having a best friend whose dad is a cop, Seraphina said. I guess so, Misty laughed. Main thing is we're all safe and no one got hurt, Seraphina said. Before long, they all finally got back to sleep. No one noticed the closet door slowly creaking open, or the figure hiding in the closet, slowly making its way towards Seraphina. A full moon shone through the window, illuminating a figure in black, wearing what appeared to be a wolf Halloween mask. It stepped up to the side of the bed and stared down at Seraphina. Not long now, little girl, it said in a cold, raspy voice. Soon your day will come, just like your mommy. It whispered with a cold laugh. The next morning, Seraphina awoke after a very uneasy sleep. Morning, Dawn, Misty, she muttered. I don't know about you, but I had a really weird dream, she began, but stopped short. Hey, my sheets are wet, she said, feeling around her bed. Her hand stopped on a big lump tucked safely underneath the covers. What is that? She asked, running her hand along something large and squishy. Maybe you were having night sweats, Misty said. No, it's coming from whatever's under my covers. Hey, did you put something wet under my bed as a joke? Seraphina asked. No, it wasn't us, Dawn replied. Well, whatever it is, it's big, Seraphina said. She reached under the covers and her hand grabbed something cold and long. Feels like a rope, she said as she began to pull it out. Her hand was completely covered in blood as she pulled out a large, pinkish rope. Oh my God, what the hell is that? Dawn asked in disgust. Shit! I think it's guts, Seraphina gagged. Blech. She quickly pulled back the covers and let out a loud scream as she saw the creature lying in bed with her. Chapter 7. Oh my God, it's a fawn, Seraphina screamed. Dawn and Misty screamed in horror when they saw the creature lying there disemboweled. Seraphina jumped out of bed and fell back against the wall, screaming hysterically as tears poured down her face. Lou and Lilith came bursting into the room. They were in here, Seraphina screamed in horror. Whoever was outside was in my room last night, she choked between sobs. Seraphina turned a sickly green color. Oh, this poor creature has seen better days, Lilith cried as tears began to form in her eyes. There's something wrong, Lou replied. Yeah, there's a fucking baby deer with its guts cut out in my bed, Seraphina cried hysterically. No, look. Its organs have all been removed, except for its guts, Lou said. Hey, what are you guys screaming about? Seraphina asked as she walked sleepily into the room. Nothing. There's just a really big spider in here and Grandpa's going to kill it, Seraphina said, running to the doorway to block Savannah from seeing the deer. Why don't you and your friends go outside and play? Seraphina suggested. Who the hell would do something as sick as this? Dawn asked. Once again, the police were called, but this time the Channel 6 News crew came with them. "Well, it's nice to see a familiar face," Serafina said, as Dawn stepped out of the news van. "It seems you all have been having quite a bit of excitement here lately," Daphne said with a smile. "How are you guys doing, besides being vandalized?" she asked. "We're trying to keep it together with all the crazy stuff going on," Lou said, forcing a smile. Just then, about 5 cops walked up. "Mr. Mayweather, I brought some officers with me so we can do a full investigation and check the entire perimeter for any signs of forced entry or any other suspicious activity," Officer Griffin said. "That's fine. You guys do whatever you need to do," Lou said. "In the meantime, would you be willing to participate in an interview?" Daphne asked. "Sure, that'll be okay," Lilith replied. "Now, Mr. and Mrs. Mayweather, you have reported a lot of strange occurrences over the past few weeks. Can you tell us more about that?" "Well, we first noticed something was wrong when we caught someone sneaking around late at night. This person or persons hung a skinned and disemboweled coyote from our back porch. But then things started to calm down for a while, so we didn't make too much fuss of the matter," Lou said. "We were still suspicious, but the police believed it to be vandals, so we just left it alone for the time being." "That's right. It wasn't until last night that we realized that something was very wrong," Lilith added. "We were just having a normal evening. Our grandchildren had invited some friends over for a sleepover. We started getting weird phone calls, and then Serafina realized someone was outside." "I see. Can you tell me what you saw, Serafina?" Daphne asked. "Well, I heard a loud slam like a car door, so I went over to the window to look out, and that's when I saw somebody in a mask staring back at me out of the darkness. It looked like it was just a common Halloween mask, like a werewolf or something." "What did you do then?" Daphne asked. "I told my grandpa, and he went outside and started shooting, and then I heard him scream that the car was on fire," Serafina said. "And so you called the police then?" Daphne asked. "Yeah, Grandma did. I ran outside and grabbed the water hose to put the fire out," she said. "Then the police showed up and searched our car," Lilith said. "Then whoever it was managed to find a way into our granddaughter's bedroom." What did they do in your room again, Serafina?" Daphne asked. "Well, somebody disemboweled a baby deer and put it in bed with me," Serafina said. "How did you react to finding that in your bed?" "I was in shock. I woke up and realized that my sheets were wet, and I got to feeling around, and then I found it," she said. "Whoever did this obviously was not trying to kill you, because if they were, they would have done it last night. Do you have any idea at all why someone is doing this to you?" "Absolutely not. We keep to ourselves and don't bother anyone, so we have no clue why someone is doing this to us," Lilith replied. At that time, Officer Griffin came out of the house and walked up to them. "Officer Griffin, was there any sign of forced entry?" Daphne asked, holding a microphone up to him. "No. It seems the intruder managed to carefully remove one of the glass window squares from the back door, and that's how they managed to get into the house." Officer Griffin replied. Mr. Mayweather, what course of action are you going to take to prevent this intruder from striking again?" Daphne asked, turning to him. "Well, naturally, I am very concerned about the safety of my family, and I've already taken the precaution of ordering security cameras, and I'm going to make sure that something is put up against the back door so no one will be able to get in," Lou said. "And I'm going to say this on camera, in front of God and everybody," Lou replied. "Yes, sir," Daphne replied. "I fired warning shots at this bastard the last time, but next time I will shoot to kill." So if whoever is responsible for this is watching, then I'm warning you that I will do whatever it takes to protect my family, and I promise you that the next time you walk on my property, you won't be walking off, Lou replied sternly. He is so fucking ready, Seraphina snickered to Misty and Dawn. Lou heard her and laughed. Yes, I am, baby. But what I find most interesting is that all the deer's organs were scattered in different parts of the house, Officer Griffin replied. Daphne turned to him. The poor creature's eyes and tongue were found frozen as a popsicle in the freezer, and its liver, gallbladder, spleen, pancreas, and kidneys were found in the little girl's room in a jewelry box, Griffin said. Daphne turned a sickish green color. Oh my God, she cried. Yeah, no kidding, he said. Oh my God, frozen eyeballs, Seraphina cried in shock. Officer, I want to know who's behind this, because whoever it is broke into my house, and that puts my entire family in danger, Lou demanded sternly. I assure you, Mr. Mayweather, the authorities are doing everything they can to catch whoever is responsible for these actions, Officer Griffin said. Well, whoever is working on this case is sure as hell not doing a very good job. Y'all need to quit sitting around, drinking your coffee, and stuffing your face with donuts and do your job, Lou hissed. I agree with you 100%, sir, but we are trying very hard, and I promise you we will catch whoever is responsible very soon, Griffin said calmly. I hope you do, officer, because next time you're called to this address, you may be carrying someone out in a body bag, he screamed. Well, we hope it won't have to resort to that, but you do whatever you have to protect your family, Griffin said. Over the next several days, Lou took every safety precaution imaginable. He had every window in the house bolted shut, installed with motion sensors, and had cameras installed at every corner of the house. He even went as far as to sleep with a loaded AK-47 by his bed at night. By God, I'd like to see someone try to break in here again, Lou replied. No one in the family spoke a word about someone breaking into Savannah's room. Every time she asked what was going on, Seraphina told her that they were trying to keep raccoons from coming into the house. So, Seraphina, seriously, what is going on with Grandma and Grandpa? Savannah asked when she and Seraphina were out feeding the animals. And don't try to play that raccoon deal with me. I'm too smart for that, Savannah demanded. Of course it's raccoons. There's been an outbreak of raccoons infected with rabies in this area, and Grandma and Grandpa don't want any getting in the house and biting someone, Seraphina laughed. Oh, yeah, and I'm sure you had to call the cops because of raccoons, Savannah replied, rolling her eyes. Look, Savannah, just let Grandma and Grandpa handle it. I don't want to say anything and scare you, Seraphina said. Oh, come on, just tell me what's really going on. Why is Grandpa locking everything up like we're in prison, she asked. Okay, Savannah, I'll tell you, but I don't want you to be afraid, Seraphina replied. I won't, just tell me, Savannah cried. All right, someone has managed to break into our house, probably looking to steal something, Seraphina said. She noticed the look of fear come across Savannah's face. I better not tell her about the deer, Seraphina thought. Now, Savannah, I don't want you to be afraid because Grandpa has installed a security system, so no one can get in here without us knowing it. Everything's going to be fine, Seraphina assured her. You are safe with me and your grandparents, and we will never let anything happen to you. Chapter 8. A couple of weeks later, as Seraphina came home from school, she found an envelope with her name on it. That's got to be the concert tickets, she thought excitedly as she ripped the envelope open. She let out a little squeak of delight. Anything good? Lou asked with a smile as he walked into the kitchen. Concert tickets are in, she cried. I don't know what me and your grandma are going to do about you, Lou chuckled. What do you mean? She asked. The way you spoil Savannah, he replied. Seraphina gave a small laugh. I'm serious, Seraphina. You're going completely overboard. I don't think I've ever seen any teenage girl do more for her little sister than her entire family does. I know, Grandpa, but I love her, and well, you only live once, right? She asked. Lou smiled. I guess I can't argue with that, he replied. Besides, this is my treat, too, Seraphina said, blushing. I'm going to go find Savannah and surprise her. She's in her room playing the Wii, Lou replied. Knock, knock, Seraphina said, while knocking on Savannah's door. What are you playing? She asked. Deca Sport, Savannah replied, not taking her eyes off the screen. You want to see what I got? Seraphina asked. I don't know. Is it something interesting, or is it something for one of your genius school projects? Savannah asked. Oh, I think it's something you'll like, Seraphina replied playfully. How would you like to see Justin Bieber in concert with me? She asked, playfully waving the tickets in front of Savannah's face. Oh my God, Savannah screamed, jumping up and knocking the Wii off the bed. Well, I can see you're excited, Seraphina laughed. When did you get these? Savannah asked, grabbing the tickets out of Seraphina's hand. About 6 weeks ago. I didn't want to tell you until they came in, Seraphina said. Oh my God, these seats are amazing, Savannah cried. Yeah, and you know what the best part is? Seraphina asked. What? It's a night for just you and me, she replied. You mean Misty and Dawn are not going? No, this is a special night for just the two of us. It's our first concert, and I wanted to make sure that it will be a night we both remember for the rest of our lives, Seraphina said. Savannah screamed and wrapped Seraphina in a tight bear hug. Oh my God, this is going to be the best night ever, Savannah squeaked. I hope so. I really do, Seraphina replied. So, did your little sister pass out with excitement when you showed her the tickets? Misty asked. Almost, Seraphina laughed. Seraphina, Misty, Dawn, Drew, and Logan all gathered around the football bleachers for their usual 30-minute outside break. Suddenly, something caught Seraphina's attention out of the corner of her eye. Hey, do you all see that? She asked. Everyone looked in the direction she was pointing. I don't see anything, Sarah, Drew said. You know, Drew, I think you're the only one who calls me Sarah. Why do you do that? She asked. It's shorter than saying Seraphina, he said. She laughed. I guess you're right, she replied. Anyway, what did you see? Logan asked. It looked like somebody was standing over there between those bushes, but I guess I must have been seeing things, she said. I wouldn't doubt that. What with all the freaky shit that's been happening at your place, Dawn replied. Seraphina, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but the next time you decide to have a slumber party, I think it'd be better if you lost my number. Seraphina laughed. Thanks a lot, Dawn. Always grateful to know you're right there beside me to help me get through tough times. God, I still can't get the picture of that deer out of my mind, Dawn shuddered. You don't have to worry about that, Dawn. I don't plan on having God, I still can't get the picture of that deer out of my mind, Dawn shuddered. You don't have to worry about that, Dawn. I don't plan on having any more sleepovers for quite a while. At least until his sicko was caught, Serafina replied. Who the hell puts a gutted deer in someone's bed? Logan asked. Who the hell puts an animal's eyeball in someone's burger? Serafina asked. Some kind of nutcase, Misty replied. Anyway, what kind of friend are you? Why didn't you get us tickets too? Dawn teased. It cost me like 90% of my savings just for me and Savannah, Serafina replied. And what does Mr. Logan Dane think about you going to see Mr. Bieber? Dawn asked, elbowing Logan. Logan's okay with it, aren't you? Serafina asked, giving him a wink. I don't know, Logan teased. You're not going to leave me for a pop singer with more money, are you? He asked, staring at her teasingly. You afraid of a little competition, Logan? Misty laughed. Shut up, Logan replied playfully. Look over there. See that guy squatting in the bushes? Serafina said, pointing frantically. There's nobody in the bushes, Serafina, Misty replied. Damn it, I know I'm not seeing things. There is someone hiding in the bushes, I swear, Serafina cried. Oh, Serafina, I think you're getting a little worked up, Dawn replied. No, I know there's somebody in there, Serafina demanded. To everyone's amazement, a man came walking out of the bushes. Oh my God, you were right, Dawn replied. The man was tall and wearing a black suit topped off with a large black fedora. Suddenly, fear began to flood Serafina. I've seen that guy before, she whispered. Hey, who are you? Logan called out to the man. The man didn't even acknowledge Logan. Come on, let's go find out who this freak is, Logan replied. They rushed down onto the football field to confront the man. Hey, you! I was talking to you and you ignored me. That's pretty rude, Logan snarled. The man was middle-aged with gray hair under his fedora and a gray mustache to match. I'm sorry, son. I didn't know that a grown man had to answer to a high schooler, the man replied sarcastically. What were you doing hanging around under my streetlight a few weeks ago? Serafina asked suspiciously. I beg your pardon, young lady, but you are mistaking me for someone else, he replied. I saw you, Serafina replied accusingly. Who the hell are you? You sure look a lot like one of my dad's employees at Dane Industries, Logan demanded. I happen to be a nature observer. I study different kinds of plants and things. I have no knowledge of who your father is, he replied. I've seen your face before. I'm going to report you, Serafina cried. Go ahead, young lady. I have nothing to hide, he replied. At that moment, the bell rang. Come on, let's go, Serafina said. They all ran as fast as they could to the principal's office. There's a stalker following me around, Serafina cried between breaths. Just calm down, Miss Mayweather, the vice principal replied. Who has been stalking you? He asked politely. I don't know who he is, but he's wearing a black suit with a large black fedora, Serafina said. He's a middle-aged guy with gray hair and a gray mustache. Listen, I know that man is the one that was spying on me at my house a few weeks ago. Okay, Miss Mayweather, I'll alert the principal that there is an intruder on school grounds, but I think it'd be best if you and your friends just headed off to your next class, Mr. Harris replied calmly. Serafina, are you sure that's the same guy? Misty asked. Yes, I know it is, Serafina replied. God, I don't know how much more of this I can take. I'm so afraid that man is going to hurt somebody, and I have a little sister to protect. By the way, Logan, who is it you thought that guy was? Serafina asked. Oh, I thought it was someone who works for my dad. He reminded me of him, Logan said. Do you think it could be that guy? Misty asked. I don't see why it would be. My dad doesn't even know Serafina, so I'm pretty sure his employees don't know her either, Logan said. Just relax and let the police handle it. I'm sure they're close to catching this guy anyway, Dawn replied. Waiting on the police to catch this guy's like waiting to hit the lottery, Serafina said. Well, that's all you can do, Dawn replied. Yeah, I know, and it worries me, Serafina said. Besides, you've got the concert to look forward to, and you'll always have us, Dawn said. That's right, Serafina. You need to focus on all the positive things and not worry about tomorrow or next week. Just live for today and handle things as they come, Misty said. Serafina smiled. Thanks for everything. You guys always know how to cheer me up when I'm depressed or worried, she said. End of chapter 8. So, tell me, what do you guys think so far? Now, I am going to let you in on a little clue. A lot of these events are based on my online, not the scary parts, but the Justin Bieber concert. I took my little cousin, because I'm a very, very big fan. I relate to Serafina in a lot of ways. I'm a huge animal lover. I don't have any brothers or sisters or grandparents, but like just her personality I relate to. But yeah, I mean, I put a lot of my favorite things into this story. So, and one of my biggest dreams is to see it made into a movie. So, and it's been real hard to promote the book, so I thought I'd just read it on YouTube and see if you guys liked it and go from there. Hope you're all doing well. Hope everybody's happy and healthy. So, check out my next video coming very soon. Part 3 will be chapters 9 through 12. Thanks for watching.